Another one? This is why I get the room an hour early so we can avoid such things.
And our sounds are playing.
Doesn't even matter. Can they hear us? Let's see if we're actually live.
There we go. That's why.
I don't see it on YouTube. Starting to get worried. This man had the code. I have one. It's not coming up on YouTube.
Does it fit right here?
If you're out there, if you can hear us, Pete's laptop is fucked up. We're using mine next week.
Yeah, we all heard the episode where we used your podcast, where we used your computer, all right? So let's not bring that up, because that was only two.
No, that was a faulty cord.
No,
that was a faulty cord.
No.
That was a fault.
That was your faulty computer.
That was a faulty cord. The laptop was fine.
My computer's just like me, all right? It's moody. Doesn't start fast, but it's good once it gets going.
So it's
right?
light-skinned?
Jason. All right, y'all, but welcome to Thursday nights.
Sorry we're late. Electronical difficulties.
This is your Thursday night spot for NFL takes,
It's made up a word.
topical tangents, and anything else that comes up on PD Camarillo.
I'm Kenneth Frank James Berry.
I don't know why our sound is so fucked up, but whatever. Whoever rented the Pirate Studios before us, fuck you. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it.
They pretty much just said, hey, we're just going to, like, touch everything and fuck it up.
The echo is hella bad too.
And I honestly don't see our thing on YouTube right now.
YouTube. This dude thinks he's funny. This dude thinks he's funny.
We got special guests here.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead,
going to just
Kenny.
talk and just hopefully that,
Go ahead, Kenny.
hopefully we're on.
We're on.
Are you sure we're on?
We're on, yeah.
We're definitely on. Well, if you're on touchdownsandtangents.com, you should be listening to us live right now. And you can confirm that way, if we're actually on. But yeah, every Thursday, we're not always on time. But when we're here, when we pull up. I mean, we were at the studio for like 3 hours. But when things go right, and sometimes we have special guests pop in. And damn, Pete, why are you so depressed in the face?
Because your buildup is like dramatically underwhelming.
Kind of like your belief in God.
Oh,
there's time though. There's time.
Wow.
See,
I'm just trying to share the episode online. All right, so you don't need to troll me right now.
I mean, you started it. All I did was just give you a quick jab. I'm joking, though. But thank you to everybody who out there who listens to us.
There really is like 3 episodes, like from today right now.
Yeah, simultaneously recording, and this is episode 275.
Ooh.
For everybody out there, episode 275.
Ebook coming soon.
Get it.
Mixtape
coming up.
Coursera coming up.
Mixtape coming soon, probably. I don't know.
But yeah, so are you going to introduce the mysterious voice, or are you just
I was getting to that.
Building it up.
I think I'm just going to be a background voice. Y'all don't need to know my name. It's cool.
We're going to call him Jay. Or no, whatever. J or I. I'm kidding.
Now you sound like one of his...
Ironically, his initials are JD, so salute to the homie who came through.
What up?
JD. And his lady salute.
Woo.
She has a name as well. Her name is Melissa.
I know, okay.
She has a name.
I know. I was like, is she going to sing her name? I was hoping for that. That's why I kind of gave the cue. I was like...
This is her first podcast episode as a guest. She's never been a guest yet.
And off air, she sung our intro, and honestly, like, it was pretty dope. So, yeah, salute to you, Melissa. Already, like, you're batting 1,000. I'm like,
there you go.
Pete right now. I don't know what's happening over there.
I don't know, man.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, babe. How do you introduce yourself?
And we all went to CSUN, so...
Exactly.
Small world.
Hey, everyone. What's up? You're tuning into the episode, what number?
275.
275 of touchdowns and tangents. My name's Melissa. And yeah, here I am. Thank you. That's all I got.
He has the best voice in the room. And the best fucking mic. I'm really mad about this. I'm really mad you have the best mic and the best voice. You can't have both.
How are you hating on everything?
Maybe it's just the voice and the mic doesn't make the difference. It could be just the voice.
Damn, it's like the shoes don't make the person. Like
Nah, man.
the voice.
Some
doesn't
people
make
just
the
have a
mic.
voice for radio.
That technically is kind of an insult.
If you see it,
I got a good voice. Stop playing with me.
You said a voice for radio.
Okay.
You know where that line came from.
You for real should have a radio show.
You should
Like,
be doing
have a radio
voiceovers
voice.
for somebody. Is what
Yeah,
he's
you-
really saying.
This
Say it
is not
again?
your radio
You should be
show.
doing voiceovers for somebody and getting paid every time like those Cash for Kids commercials come out. Just doing the voiceover work for that.
There you go.
I mean, what's Cartoon Network? They stay having cartoons and coming out. So like, just try to get some voice actor work. It's worth it. A homie of mine, she's actually the voice of Shuri for Black Panther. And her name's
Still?
Daisy. Yeah.
Still.
There's a lot of negativity on this side of
No,
the
I just meant like one, y'all still friends, and two, wow, been in the industry that long. It's been like 5 years now.
I mean, you know, every once in a while on a story, she'll post some funny shit, and I'd be like, 100, hilarious.
He gets a like.
We have a little chat
He
back
gets
and
a double
forth.
tag. He gets a double
Right.
tag.
How you doing? You good? Yeah, I'm good. All right, good, cool.
That's right. It's a like, just a thumbs up.
That's all.
It's a picture of her. It's a gif of her. I'm like, how did you get your own gif? Goddamn. She is like super industry. Nah, but nah. Yeah, but I mean, we have so many friends who are like involved with music and like in the arts. So it's kind of dope to like have this kind of conversation because I feel like we haven't had a conversation like this in a while. It's been like really stressed out the last couple weeks, and every time we come in, there's an audio issue for some reason.
Kenny just likes anytime one of my friends comes into the studio because then he gets a chance to gain up on me and troll me. And
I'm like, he's a
some
piece of
embarrassing
shit, right?
stories.
Hey, we're all friends now. We've known each
Yeah.
other for years. So, but yes, I did meet Kenny through you. You're right.
And also, like, I mean, the interviews,
Multiple.
they were dope. And, like, part of the reason why they tried to, like, kick me off the air, which is funny, because they still used all my shit after I left, but, you know.
That means you have value, though. That should be a lesson right there. You have value even after you left.
This dude said I'm late, and he sent the rundown 22 minutes into when we're supposed to be having the show.
Bro, I sent the rundown at least
He
30
did the
minutes ago.
rundown while I was having technical
I did the
difficulties.
rundown in the car, then forgot about it, talked
That's
some
all
shit.
issues.
So tell us, what's the game plan for this?
Okay, so
All right.
pretty
Wait,
much-
sorry. Are we?
Yes, we're on the air right now.
Okay.
swear to God,
Had to
we're live. Swear. 'Cause I'm gonna
Get
go
it
on the
straight
website.
It
because
wouldn't matter, though, because he doesn't believe in God.
I never said that. I never said that.
I'm glad that you believe in God.
All I'm saying,
So
listeners
you believe
out
in
there.
God?
Okay, listeners.
Amen.
Listeners.
Church tabernacle.
Listeners. If someone walks up to you in a park, drinking a Budweiser, and says, "Hey, if I told you I was God, would you believe me?"
What if God was one of us, just a slob like one of us?
What would you do? Would you believe it?
That's a fair question. Would you?
Would you, Kenny?
I mean, can you see the God in the next man? Can you see God in the next man in front of you or next woman in front of you?
Are you going to answer or ask more questions?
All right,
feel
what,
like I
what would you
answered
do, JD?
I would give him a way to show it. Hey, turn this water to wine. Hey,
So
give
you're
me-
going to test God?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to. The whole Bible is about God getting pressed, and then he finally snaps.
The
The Old Testament is like, all right, Sodom and Gomorrah was like, all right, fuck this. When they were playing with the calf and all that, and Moses smashed the commandments, people was testing God's gangster, and he said, okay, watch this. People have been testing God like since the beginning of time, if we're being honest.
So here's the thing, though. I believe God appears to you. It could be in different forms, different people, but it's not always God in the physical. It's God in the message.
Okay.
Now
I can
what?
rock with that. That's called the
That's
Holy
a bar.
Spirit.
Yeah, God shows up in the message, and although the person who's giving you the message doesn't have to be God himself, you take the message and run with it. And then you pray and make sure it's affirmed by your community, take it to your council, and then you say, all right, what's next? I've like literally had moments where people on the street would tell me like a bar or two bars, and I made a decision from that. And I'm like, oh, snap. It's
Yo,
wild.
he's
Like,
had-
oh snap!
Don't leave your irrational decision making up to God, bro.
JD has had the most
motherfucker
outrageous
flipped
stories
the
I've ever heard
coin.
in my life. Like, how did you come out of that alive?
Exactly.
Just
Like-
God. That's it. I believe.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord. You woke me up today.
What about you?
So what would you tell? So what would you tell this person who told you that he's God with a Bud Light? What would you tell him?
I mean, the context is kind of different style, but whatever.
Okay,
Straight
I get what you're saying, but I'm
Yeah.
just wondering in this situation because we're giving.
Yeah. So if he comes up and he says I'm God, I'm like, okay, nice to meet you. What's up? And just have a conversation. You gotta come talk to me.
What if he's like, I'm God, run me those shoes?
Here's a blessing. I'm gonna give you your life, but you gotta give me those shoes. As fucking, what's it called? Tithes. Tithes and offering. You gonna give me those? Come up off them kicks.
Yeah. I mean, people use God's name to do a lot of things, so that wouldn't surprise me.
That's
And
true.
then the fact of the matter is, like, whether it is or it isn't, it's true in your mind. So you got to move accordingly.
All right, well, that's enough of the tangent. But
Yeah.
just to wrap it up, Melissa, what would you say?
I'm not the one to ask y'all. Okay, whatever JD said, that's what I go for.
I'm gonna just be like, "Hey, dog, what was up with slavery? Like, can you explain that? And is God really white, or are you just appearing to me in this form right now because you have like 7 heads, and it would totally fuck me up if I saw your real form?"
Yeah, man. This dude just asked me. He was like, "No, but seriously, like, what would you say? Would you believe it?" And I was like, "Honestly, bro, no." And then he was just like, "All right, have a nice day. Keep helping out the youth," because I was coaching at that exact moment. Like, he literally walked in the middle of my drill and was like, "I told you I was God," slurring his words. You believe me?
I mean, we don't know what Jesus did from 13 to 30, so he probably made a lot of different friends.
True.
There could be-
All right, so
but
with that,
anyway,
jumping back to football.
yes, and unfortunately, this kind of situation, like that we're about to talk about, it's gonna be a downer for like 5 seconds, but we're gonna build it back up, and mostly because I got some people to talk shit about. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. He died this past weekend. Was hit by a dumpster truck on the side of a highway in Florida. He was training down there with a lot of his teammates, getting ready for the season. I guess like his
Was ready to compete for a starting job.
the gas on his bike. Pretty much his bike died. They're still doing an investigation. It's gonna take at least 90 days. But the whole NFL world was kind of crushed. But a certain piece of shit, Adam Schefter and Gil Brandt. Adam Schefter first, because he's a real piece of shit. Because this isn't the first time he's done this or something like this. Pretty much came out and was like, "Rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins. He struggled in Washington and Pittsburgh as a quarterback and in the league after like a great career at Ohio State."
Great season.
Yeah, he's pretty much. Yeah, he died. He was hit by a truck. He deleted the original tweet. It's posted on the Touchdowns and Tangents socials, so you can just find it. But yeah, he posted it, and everybody was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, he just died. What does him, quote unquote, struggling to play QB at the highest level have to do with him dying at 24 years old? Like, why do you lead with that?" Like, there was no, you didn't have to lead with saying something that fucked up about a person. Like, if you died, we're not going to be like Adam Schefter, unathletic white dude who only is famous because of his connections behind the scenes, but doesn't have a lick of athleticism, has no business actually reporting on football because he's a fucking dweeb. Oh, but he died, and we're really sorry and sad about it.
You know what's funny is when I read that, because I've been pretty critical of Dwayne Haskins since he was coming out in the draft. But that was like literally the last thing that I thought about. Like, I just felt really bad.
He's just a millionaire, first-round pick.
He's a 24-year-old who's no longer exists.
And the last video of him was like the day before he died, having a bunch of fun with Najee Harris and a bunch of his teammates.
It seemed like he had a second chance to really like make the NFL his thing, but now you never know.
Yeah, and like he was looking like he was a really great locker room fit, and he was rebuilding himself up because Washington, the organization, is pretty putrid. So anybody who goes there doesn't really find much success. I mean, there are human trafficking issues. We're going to talk about a story later how they were. It's not looking like allegedly, like the government's involved now. they are hiding revenue ticket sales from the NFL
Wow.
for everybody else. So it's not looking great for the Washington Commandos. But to be
What's
out
the
of that,
benefit of that?
Hmm?
Hiding ticket sales. What's the benefit?
I mean, imagine tax evasion. Imagine hiding all the money you make and not having to. Yeah, and if it's revenue sharing in the NFL, and you're hiding ticket sales in a stadium where 3 people have already got their ACL blown out, the stands fell apart and almost killed a QB. A bunch of people got hurt. Like, it's not looking great for them as an organization right now.
Yeah.
And then the government coming down on them, like, it's a real issue. People close to the team who are formally aligned, you know, accusing the team cheerleaders of sex trafficking, essentially. Like, it was a lot, and then Dwayne Haskins gets drafted really high in the first round to go there. Everybody
And then
thought
the
it was going
coach
to turn
changed.
around. The coach didn't even want him.
Yeah.
Ron Rivera didn't even really want him. And then the coach before him didn't really want him. But, like, he was a good fit. It was just, I mean, the players wanted him.
Well, he was
had
from
potential.
Maryland, right?
Yeah, he's from D.C.
Yeah,
he
he's
went
from
to high school in Maryland, went to Ohio State, and it's just like, if you just had somebody.
That's what got me, too, is the video they showed of him when he was like 10 years old. He visited Ohio State.
He was like early younger than that. He had the jersey
He was
on.
like 7. He was wearing the same number that he would end up wearing, and he was like, his dad or whoever he was with was like, "What do you think of the school?" And he's like, "I'm going to school here." And he went to school there and had the best season ever as a quarterback.
50 touchdowns, and I think like maybe 7 picks or something, like 4 picks.
Yeah, his stats are crazy.
Like, he does all that. Rose Bowl, I think he won MVP, and then, you know, go first round. And for a black QB going first round, and he's like a pocket passer for real. Like, then, you know, the media turned on him because Washington does that. It usually turns on their own players. It's a numerous case like, oh, he's playing bad. Oh, he visited a strip club. He's horrible at his work ethic, whatever. But then he gets to Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin's like, he's like the nicest human being ever. Everybody loved him. Then Chase Claypool saw him right before he died. Like, he was the last one with him. And he got online. He was crying. He was very out of it.
Yeah, I could imagine.
I couldn't even watch that shit. Like, I had to just turn it off. I turned my phone off for a couple minutes. I was like,
I think that's the
I had to
other
put it
part
on
of
mute.
it that hurt too was losing a black quarterback.
Like that. Like, and everybody
Like
had.
for all the stuff it takes to make it as a quarterback is already hard enough.
You get hit by a fucking
And you
car
factor
and
in
die.
being a black man, and then you factor in bringing both in football and making it to the highest level, and it just feels like, damn, like
and calling your shot.
they lost a member of the fraternity, like for real. And that's why it's like when you saw the whole NFL just kind of R.I.P. Haskins, R.I.P. Dwayne, prayers for his family, like it just felt real. Like,
yeah. And then Gil Brandt, 90-year-old Hall of Famer, scout, one of his.
that didn't bother me as much.
No, that one's fucked.
That didn't bother me as much.
If he would have went back to school, he might still be around and made better decisions.
I didn't hear that.
Oh yeah,
I didn't
goes
hear
to the
that
full
part.
audio. He's a real piece of shit.
Yeah, I didn't
and
hear
guess
that
what?
part.
When Gil Brandt dies, I'm gonna keep that same energy. I'm like,
That's
hey,
what he
here lies
said?
Gil. He said a bunch of fucked up shit, but mainly he was like, it's like he was living to die with the decisions he was making, and I was like, he wasn't arrested. Like, yeah,
He got hit.
who doesn't go to a fucking titty bar? Can we be honest?
I think it's
I just have to
more
say
of
it like
just
that because everybody, all these NFL players have gone to strip clubs.
I
James
heard it.
Harden is a strip club.
I heard it.
Hall
and
of Famer.
I heard it and thought of it more as like, oh, he was depressed. Like he was probably depressed, like most people, and it makes sense given everything you just listed.
was a birthday
was
party
going
at a
on in
strip club.
Washington.
People were giving him shit. And I'm like, but Gil Brandt brought that up, even knowing, oh, he died. Oh, well, maybe if he would have stayed in school, he would have made smarter decisions. He was kind of living to die with this. He just kept going on, and it's like, bro, fuck you. Like this, like old white
Nah,
dudes
for
in
sure.
media feel comfortable to disrespect black people and black athletes all day, and nobody punches them in the fucking face. Like if I
For
honestly,
sure, but that bothers me less than Scheffner's because Scheffner's was so like
unhuman. It was
cold
inhumane. It was
and
cold.
detached. Like at least Gills had like some thinking and some like sourcing to it, whether it was right or wrong. Whether it was right or wrong, at least he fucking thought about it.
That didn't make any sense. People go back to school. What if he would have got fucking shot at school? Then what would you have said?
I'm not saying he's right.
What if
All
he
I'm
dies
saying
in his
is-
sleep because he was binge drinking the night before? And
I feel like with Adam Schefter, like he was actually a real ass reporter for a minute. You know, he just said some messed up stuff, and then the other guy, he's an old white dude that expects racism, so it doesn't make a difference. It's like another dude says that. You know?
Basically, yeah.
But it's like the timing for both is like, why did y'all? No one would say this like if it was, let's say, Ryan Leaf, who's been busted for DUIs and I don't know how many fucking times post career.
But the difference
Something
to me,
horrible happened to him, God forbid.
the difference to me is the context, right? Like, if you know who Dwayne Haskins is, you know he had a hard career in Washington. You know he was fighting to make the roster and start in Pittsburgh. Like, you don't need to bring that up.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who Dwayne Haskins is, then that doesn't really matter because all that matters is a 24-year-old quarterback
Lost his life.
right?
Dude,
That's what makes me where it upsets me more. The Gil Brandt shit is just another old white dude talking about
being
other
a piece of shit.
talking about other shit that he's talked about with other people about that person. Like, so
But
like,
I'm like, he wouldn't say
that's
that to
not
his face.
that's
like,
not as bad
if I'm
to
somebody
me.
in Haskins' family, I'm slapping that dude on sight.
That's not as bad to me as like someone else who's just like, oh yeah, and this. Like, okay, well, that doesn't have to do with what the fuck you're reporting. So why are you bringing
Okay,
it up?
go listen to the whole audio, and you're like, wow, he said that the day he died, bro. He said that like the day
But that's
he
what I'm
died.
saying. I'm not surprised by that because that's what old white people do. They talk about other fucking young, more successful, and better looking people, and then they share
Shout out
that.
to Bill Poley,
and then they
We didn't
share
forget
that.
about you either.
Yeah.
But
yeah, R.I.P. Dwayne Haskins.
it's just like the outpouring of love is what I think was the best part about that. Because it's like, bro, they're
Having a
they're
funeral for him,
humans.
I think the 22nd.
Yeah. One in Rockaway and then one in D.C.
They invited the public and coaches and teammates,
It's like-
etc.
If football's a fraternity, like I have cats who I've known and played, like my homie Teamer, he got murdered last year. Like it still kind of fucks with me. Like on my 30th birthday, I'm like, damn, he was only like a year younger than me. He isn't even gonna get to see 30.
How do you guys deal with that? Knowing so many people that die, like just straight up, and then you have to be reminded. You have anything to?
It's
helps you?
I mean, I just like. I think you
I
really.
don't know, man. I think about our homie Brandon, R.I.P. all the time.
Yeah, man.
That's my boy. But I also rest easy knowing that like one of the only times that I really have felt, not one of the only times, but one of the main times that I can recall like feeling God like most directly was like at his funeral. Like, so
It
that's
was a beautiful service too. Like
Yeah.
they had the birds and everything.
yeah,
the
so
scenery.
that's really what kind of like puts me at peace is like knowing that, and then also knowing like just remembering that like all the good times that we had together, because like he really did have a life of like highlights,
Yeah.
you know. And
He put me on a Travis Scott before Travis Scott was Travis
I
Scott.
know, bro. I saw Travis Scott at a fucking rodeo, like literally.
Yeah.
Oh no, that wasn't you. That was Andy. My
Nah, it's
bad.
probably Andy, but yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, he fucking yeah. I
He's ahead of his
can't even
time.
tell that whole story, but basically, I remember I had just graduated. It was like maybe a month later, and he was like, "Oh, there's this show with Ty Dolla Sign, Schoolboy Q, and Travis Scott for $15 at Santa Barbara. Like, we're gonna go." And I was like, okay. I was like, I might be down, but I have work. And he was like, oh, you should just go anyways, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nah, bro, I don't want to drive. I don't want to do that. And then he was like, bro, just go, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'll let you know, bro. Just hit me up. So he hit me up, and he was like, bro, I'm driving. He was like, Roman and Kevin, and or not Armando. Fuck. I think it was it was just Roman and Kevin. He was like, yeah, we're all gonna go. Like, I'm driving, so you have no excuse. You just graduated. You never do anything. You're always working. Like,
For real, you are.
it's $15. When else are you gonna see fucking Ty Dolla $ign and Schoolboy Q for $15? I was like, fine. So I threw up at work, and I ironically walked out, and my manager was walking by at that exact moment, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Nah, I just threw up. I think I need to go home." And she was like, "Okay, like, hope you feel better." And it was like Memorial Day, I think, which is like a big mattress holiday.
Oh wow.
So my colleagues were happy to see me go.
Commission.
One less person on the floor. Because I was even asking them, I was like, should I go? Should I go? And they're like, go for it, dude. Like,
Yeah.
we'll take your sales. Like, but anyway, so we went, had a killer ass time. Like, it was when Travis Scott was still, like, maybe there was like 200 people
Damn.
less watching him. And everybody jumped VIP. Like, it was crazy. It was an amazing experience. So just honing in onto those moments, I think, kind of gives me peace when I think about that. And just all the other times, too, because that dude was always down.
Yeah.
Like, if you hit him up and you had something going, nobody else, he'd be like, let me get back to you. Or, let me finish what I'm doing and I'll call you back.
And they never call you back.
Nah, he always called me back. He'd always be like, yeah, I'm down. Like, we'd go to the gym. We always did. Yeah, man. RP to my brother Brandon, but
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you, Kenny? How do you deal with grief? Your homies.
I mean, humor mostly. Humor and just knowing that. And my grandma told me this like at an early age because I saw my grandfather die when I was 4. Like, told me his last words. He's like, "You're gonna go on to do great things in life. You're gonna graduate college. You're gonna be great. All this other stuff."
Damn, he told you the greatest lie at 4, bro.
You ain't shit. Hey, but you did it though. You did it for Gramps.
He was like, "You're gonna like you're gonna be
He
dope."
told
Like,
you hustle culture at 4 years old. Damn.
didn't everybody?
From Papa.
But it was '96, so it was like, you know, he knew he wasn't gonna see me grow up.
He knew Michael was guilty. He went to the grave thinking Michael was guilty.
We're not. You don't know what my grandfather thought. Shut up. But I have a funny story to tell.
Low-key, I'm gonna find a fucking medium just to see what your grandpa thought about that case,
I'm gonna just call.
just
my
so we
mom.
can dead your whole argument.
I'm gonna just call.
Just so we can dead.
I'm gonna just call my mom after the show and
And
just
then
tell you
your
if she
ghost
think
of
Michael
grandpa
did it.
was like,
Wait, can
Michael
he call
did
you
it.
now?
Call her right now.
Text her. You got an
She's
answer.
listening right now.
Mama Berry, where you at? Mama Berry, tune in.
She's listening, or
That'd
she's
be a great
sleeping.
guess.
It would be. All in the family.
She told me,
All right, but go on.
She told me a funny story on it.
your grandpa left you with
Some
I'll
the
tell the Rick
case
James
of
story
that.
later. But yeah, with me, it's more like you get to live on to tell that person's story, how they affected your life. Like they live on through you. Because a homie of mine, I went to San Diego a couple weeks ago. One of his friends that he played football with in Kansas is off playing football in Germany now, and 2 of their friends that they're supposed to be at that going away party for him, they died in a car accident. So like I was in the car with him. This is my homie. We played football together in high school. Got into fist fights, all types of shit. But like that's just been like my little bro since I met him. He's like 2 years younger than me, but it's like I told him, it's like, man, those people, their bodies are gone, but their memories and the impact they had on you lives forever through you, and then your impact lives on through the next person. That's why people say, like, yeah, you might not have money, you might not be rich, but you have a whole lifetime of experiences that you pass on to somebody. Somebody might hold you on high order and exalt you damn near to the level of God after you're gone. Because, energy doesn't die, it's transferred. So, like, that person doesn't die. They just transfer on to the next thing. Like, so, I mean, let's say the way that, like, with Brandon, like, if you were always working and you finally just say, fuck it, I'm going to Coachella. You had the time of your life. Shit, I was probably Brandon right there with you, like the spirit of the party with you. Like people don't really ever go away unless you let them.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's usually how I get over it, or not get over it, but more like get through the grieving process. Because it's like it sucks.
Yeah.
I'm like even now think about Teamer, and I'm just like, literally, I remember we were just chilling in practice one day, or most days, just talking shit in between drills. Not even about football, just about life or whatever. And like he was cutting hair. He used to see my mom all the time in the neighborhood, my little sister. And a month before he died, I was like, I want to stop by your shop. And right when I was going to stop by the shop, I saw something on IG like, damn, they got the homie Teamer. I'm like, what? So I find out they closed the shop down where he worked at because people were going by shooting the shop. He got killed in Long Beach during the pandemic last year. Some cats on the, I think it was the north side of Long Beach, lit his car up out of 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice car. You know, he worked really hard for it, self-made. Blew his car. Cats pulled up on him with like shotguns and shit, like 6 of them. And I was like, who just does like that's some wild shit to do to somebody? And I still haven't heard anything as far as like if they caught the people who did it, but it just lets me know like damn, life is short.
Yeah.
And you know, you remember people. I think you remember people not only the way that they impacted you, but how they lived their life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, now if they were like a no-count piece of shit, then I mean, obviously it's kind of harder to think of that person. You think of like, well, yeah, they were flawed, but they tried. You always try to end it on a positive note when you try to memorialize somebody. I think just our brains as humans, like, because we know our deepest, darkest flaws, but it's like, why did you just cut me off?
I didn't. Go ahead, continue.
Just a sound.
Okay, that was weird.
I'm actually fixing the sound so it doesn't have all that fucking white noise. I figured out what it was.
That white noise was, I was like, I
Figured out what it was because it was set to a condenser. It was set to a dynamic mic, and these are condenser mics.
Okay. It was on the menu. It was wrong. Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah.
But finish the story though. You were talking about memorializing people.
But yeah, like I think the best way to kind of memorialize somebody is like, yeah, they got their demons, but it's like you fought because nobody really knows when they're gonna go.
Yeah.
You just gave it your best shot, and it's like fuck it. If you can learn anything from somebody's life, they gave it their best shot. So you just gotta.
Troubles.
I mean, unless they're like Hitler or somebody, like yeah, you can't really fucking put a positive spin on that. But anybody else, you can just be like, you can make anybody, you know, someone to like, okay, you don't have to be that person, but you can aspire to like tap into the human spirit and just keep going and thriving and take it to the next level. Like, it doesn't just, death is really just a transition. It's not actually a permanent thing.
I hope they understand that. I really understand that they don't understand.
I don't know. I feel like the way your perspective is a good way to look at it. I find myself, because, you know, obviously COVID, a lot of people pass. A lot of people we didn't expect. You know what I'm saying? I had recently a homie, his name is Jack. RIP to Jack. He got hit by a car on the same freeway as Brandon.
Damn.
On the same freeway, in the same area. And I work with him, and I would speak with him every day. And he was like the type of dude that literally, he was first in the game of vending machines. He was telling me about this move to do ATM machines. He was in the crypto game. He was like an ambassador for Lightspeed, which the company that we work with ended up getting it on a corporate level. And he was pissed because he was an affiliate. He would have made thousands and thousands off of the referral. And it's like people die like that where they're like right on the trajectory of where they're going. And it's like, damn, I wonder why. And I don't know if that's healthy if you continue to ask why. So,
yeah, because I was like, when Nip died, it's like he was doing it. He was right there.
Yeah.
Why would you take the person who was best suited to do it? Because it's not all on that one person. It's on all y'all to collectively pick up the slack. And it's like they say, like, you know, God takes his angels because he needs them.
What do you think? How do you deal with it?
Okay. So So yeah, I just feel everyone reacts super different to loss, you know, especially it depends on, you know, the level that you're at that time of your life. But for me, you know, my mom, she passed a few years ago, 7 years ago. And so I feel that, you know, she was a little ill and I saw her go through not being able to walk. But at the end of the day, even when she wasn't able to walk, she was able to give, right? She was able to pour with so much love. She was able to help, let's just say, like, people who didn't have a car at the time, she would drop them off to their appointment. She would check in on them. And I think just kind of witnessing that type of connection to other people is something that I see reflected in what I do today, you know? I'm able to really connect to people. How can I help you out? How can I make you feel good? How can I make your day easier? And also I get to walk. I get to run. I get to do things that make me feel good, but I also get to like create a community around those things, you know? So I think that's another aspect. You know, a lot of people talk about self-care and that's cute. But I think sometimes we really do need community care, you know? People who go through the same shit that we go through, people who have a different perspective so that we could kind of navigate that. But yeah, grief never really goes away. You kind of just like Barry, you're saying, it kind of transforms, right? So it transforms into beautiful things. Like something that hurt turns into something super beautiful. So yeah. I think community is like a big part of that. Grief. Yeah. How y'all like that, huh? How y'all like that?
That was dope. And by the way,
that's a good
you talking
said
about
it most
marathons.
eloquently of all of us.
Yeah, that was a nice ribbon on that segment. And dope. Congrats, you just finished the marathon, right?
Yes, I did.
Her third one in a row.
Wow.
Y'all be out there killing the marathons. I be saying you. Salute
I just
you.
got one. She got three. So,
And I just want to say, can y'all hear me? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing about that. It has nothing to do with the miles. It has nothing to do with the distance. It has nothing to do with the event, right? It's who do you become throughout that time? Who do you become when challenges are like, when you're facing these challenges, who do you become? What do you learn? And again, who are you bringing with you and who are you inspiring, right? So I think that's a big thing that keeps me in that mindset. Like I want to keep doing them for that reason.
That's what's up.
So yeah.
That's beautiful.
That's a great outlook on it.
continuously becoming.
I'm gonna just push this XFL thing back because it's kind of petty.
I tried, okay? I tried.
We're on like a really great trajectory, so I'm gonna just.
Dog, I don't have my sounds. I would hit the one.
I'm gonna just talk about Derek Carr getting a contract extension. We can talk about this
Saw Pete's
XFL.
face. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't hit with that one. All right.
We'll talk about that in like a touchdown or turnover. How about that? That's fair, Pete. the Megan Rapinoe thing. But yeah, so Derek Carr got a 3-year, $121.5 million.
Why would you talk about that? Why would you skip the XFL and talk about that?
Because this is happy news, and she just said some really happy shit.
This
And-
is not happy news, but okay. Go ahead. You already
Oh,
set
so
it
now
up.
it's not happy.
You already
Oh,
set
so
it
now
up.
you hate
No,
Derek
you
Carr.
already set it up. Just go ahead. Finish.
That's interesting.
Carry on. Carry on.
He's been literally so pro Derek Carr.
I literally have not. I literally have columns on the record about how the Raiders should trade Derek Carr. So let's try again.
But you're like, if we don't want to, you don't want to start over at QB, so you're stuck with him. But they just paid him a 3-year contract extension.
I just said that.
That's really 2 years.
No, I said that either you start over completely and
Or
you
you
get
build
rid
around
of him, or you build around him, which
Yep.
they're building around him.
Heighten. So he gets his contract extension, pretty much a 2-year deal. He can walk pretty much after the 3rd year, no trade clause. How you feel about that? Salute to him for getting his money, and he's gotten a lot of it in the past 8 years.
And you got Devontae.
And he got Devontae.
I'm just glad we got a little bit more cap space. Honestly,
That's a
really
great
what I'm mad
contract,
about.
like-
yeah.
Shout out to Ziegler.
And whatever else happens is ultimately up to Carr. Like, there's no excuses this year. He has the best receiver in the league. It's his boy. They working together. Like, there's no excuses this year. He has everything around him. The defense is improved. The coaching should be improved. Everything should be improved. Got the stadium. No distractions there. Like, no excuses. That's it. Contract's done. Behind us. All right. Time to win a fucking Lombardi. You don't? Next.
Do you feel
Thank
like
you. Bye.
thank you next?
Yeah. Thank you. Next. Whatever.
Get Ariana Grande's lyrics right, please.
So hardy.
I don't want her fans coming after us.
All right.
Somebody died at a concert years ago, so you know.
So should we move on to?
Take your tangent.
Sure. If I can find the drop.
I was about to say, I was gonna sit here like Charlemagne and wait for a drop. Bow, bow, bow. And try not to get punched in the face. Or slapped, for that matter.
All right. Here we go. I think it's here.
Do you know it's there?
Or it doesn't want to play. Sorry, it was so damn loud.
That's fine. All right. So we'll just jump straight into the XFL. Some drama from when they rebranded and dropped their logo last week. Former women's national team soccer player Megan Rapinoe and all-time great WNBA basketball player Sue Bird. They own a company called Together, and like they have a certain design for it. And Megan pretty much tweeted out the Rock like, "You want to cease and desist? Because you're about to get hit with a really fat lawsuit if all your XFL merchandise is literally the same logo that we use for our company." And people kind of flamed her for it.
Yeah, so I looked at this right before we got on the air, and honestly, this is the most clout chasing shit I've ever seen. Like, here, show them the logo. But basically, if you look at the logo and you really zoom in closely, one, the main logo is just an X, right? And the XFL obviously has 3 letters. So that's already different, right? 2, the only similarities is there's like a split in the X, which any motherfucker with Canva could have done. And 3, we haven't really talked about it, but the XFL logo in itself is not that nice, bro. It should look like some Windows clip art from 1997. Like, let's chill. To me, it feels like they just wanted to trend jack some news, saw the XFL logo, because black and white is such a new combination that they just decided to get some rock clout by trying to start some fake Twitter beef. Like, chill. Not that serious. Did you find the tweet?
I'm trying to go to Megan's account to find it.
He's looking at puppy videos
time?
right now.
You found it last time really easy. So
I typed the wrong thing. That's why. That's it right there.
And
Okay.
and if you scroll down, some users
There's
were
even
like,
more.
"Yeah, well, actually, your logo just looks like Under Armour turned to the side." So
And then they put Hurley. That shit killed me. I think that's a
That's funny. Yeah.
motorcycle logo. The fucking Kiyosaki.
No, Hurley is the clothing brand for like skateboarders and surfers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's also like a motorcycle logo that looks just like their logo on their website Together, and I was like, that's cloud chasing, but also I'm pretty sure XFL wouldn't rebrand and be like, yeah. I'm pretty sure XFL wouldn't rebrand knowing that and then rebrand anyway. Even though I thought the XFL logos from before in the second iteration I think were nice. I guess they want to be more professional, more clean cut, kind of less like poppy with it.
When does their season start?
Next year.
Oh, okay.
Which brings me to my second point. They announced the 8 coaches for the XFL. And one of them is your favorite and my favorite, Wade Phillips.
son of bum,
Yes, indeed.
former Rams defensive coordinator, Broncos defensive coordinator, Bills head coach,
The Cowboys?
Patriots defensive coordinators, Cowboys defensive coordinator. Also, I think
The
he was the
Chargers
Cowboys
too?
head coach. Chargers defensive coordinator. He's been all around the league. One of the godfathers of the modern 3-4 defense.
Hall of Fame DB, former Raider, former Steeler, former Raven, Super Bowl champion, Rod Woodson.
Yeah, his first coaching job since 2017.
Where do you coach at?
He coached with the Raiders in 2017.
This is one guy who I would definitely trust to teach blocking techniques, even though he's a receiver. Hines Ward.
Oh, Hines Ward, yep. That's a good one. Anthony Beck, right?
Yeah, former first round tight end out of Penn State. Bob Stoops.
Was last coach at a high school, but okay.
Yep. But he also did stuff at the NFLPA game, other stuff. They have guys out there.
Bob Stoops, the only coach from the last edition of the XFL. He coached in the Dallas team. Damn, I'm not even the XFL beat reporter. You should be the one fighting off all this shit.
I mean,
I read one press release.
I mean, I'm just letting you get your shit off.
And
Jim
then,
Haslett, former Saints head coach.
Yep.
I think he was a Rams D coordinator too, wasn't he?
Special teams.
He was the 2000 AP NFL Coach of the Year.
Who knew?
Terrell Buckley, College Football Hall of Famer, Florida State great. And Reggie Barlow, head coach at Virginia State University for 6 years. Led them to the first undefeated regular season, the championship. And was like an 8-year NFL veteran. So nice seeing somebody from HBCU getting their shine. That's dope. Let's see next. So Tom Brady's last touchdown ball pretty much got sold, or the sale of it was voided at auction for Tom Brady's last touchdown. But since he is retired,
You definitely did this rundown in the car, bro.
I didn't.
Why the fuck would you put the coaches list on Take or Tangent? And you didn't even ask me if I had to take or a tangent on it. You just listed the coaches and then moved on to Tom Brady.
Because you already said it. You literally said it. What else is there to say? It's a really dope
Okay.
list. Did you have anything else to say?
No, I'm just saying this.
I didn't think you had anything else to say. That's why I moved on. Because I didn't have shit to say.
You find ways to one up your shitty rundowns. Like I was just like, damn.
Disrespectful. Sometimes, when I give a take or tangent, I don't really have shit to say. I'm just listening to hear what you
I
have
miss
to
the
say.
days when you had links in there, where it was like
That you never looked at?
old berries.
That he never looked
There
at.
was space.
That he never looked at.
We
And
might
then he
even
went
get
in
a
and
guest on
changed
there
like
once
3
in a
things
while.
just now.
Yeah, because that shit doesn't make any sense for a touchdown for take or tangent.
It does.
No, it's just what you just do take or tangent and touchdown and turnover as the order in your head. You don't actually think oh shit, this makes sense for that. That makes sense for that.
I got a
you just
tangent.
make a
Like
list.
the past month,
You just make
The
a
past
list
month I
and then
haven't.
put the subtitles wherever it looks like it fits.
Sometimes I switch it though.
I got a tangent. Can I ask you guys a question?
I guess, man, this show's already going off the rails.
It's all good. What are your thoughts about how you do anything is how you do everything?
I mean, that's kind of inconsistent because
I mean, I think that's the whole.
it's a nice premise.
It's the whole devil's in the details, right? Characters, what you don't see, right? That's how I see that. Is whatever your bottom baseline is of how you would do anything, really tells you how you would do everything if nobody was looking.
Do you agree with it, or
Right.
you think that it's not true?
I think it's not
I
fully
think-
true.
I think it's true.
You think it's true?
Yeah, because how you would do anything is how you would do everything if you could get away with that
That level.
level, that standard, if you didn't have to deal with outside pressure.
And why do you think it's not true?
Because I mean, if you're doing things you don't care about, or you just it's second nature to you. Everybody just has different levels.
But then at some point, everything is going to get to that level, and so you're going to default to that second nature, that autopilot, that going through the motions.
sometimes, but
It's just you can't get away with it with certain things.
what if you're
So
burnt
that's
out?
why you change.
But what is burnt out though? Because there's some things that we got to do every day, and we can't get burnt out with washing clothes, brushing our teeth,
Oh, I get burnt out. on
cleaning
all
the
that
house. Yeah, I get burnt
He
out
gets
too,
burnt out
but
cooking or trying to cook.
shit.
you can't stay burnt out, right? So it's I don't know, because
Yeah, he might stay burnt out.
I had this conversation with a few people, and it got into a whole argument at the bar. And they're like, nah, that's not true. I'm really great at work, but I suck at home. And then I talked to somebody that's very successful, and they're like, no, it's 100% true. I wash my clothes like how I negotiate a deal. And because I thrive in this, and this is the style that I do everything. And I'm like, huh, okay.
I think you have to be mindful of doing everything, being tapped in. You have to be emotionally and mentally tapped in. And now, if you're emotionally and mentally tapped in, then yeah, I think that's true. But if you're not, and you just shut your brain off to certain things, because sometimes you just need to shut your brain off, well, then that's just how you handle things. I think that standard works for everybody, but it looks different to
'Cause,
everybody.
yeah.
So perspective is just always different. Like,
I'm rolling the fuck out of my eyes on this.
of course you are, because
You
that's
disagree completely.
that's
huh?
what you do. You roll your eyes, and you're just a curmudgeon at things.
No, because like
I
the
don't
little
even know
things
what
of
the
like
fuck a curmudgeon is. Do you know what a curmudgeon is?
I know the context how to use it in. It could have been any word in that place.
Just
A
say
So-
you don't know what
a
that
grouch.
is.
No, I do not know.
You're a grouch.
I never heard that word until you told me right now.
Thank you. You couldn't have just said that. You had,
I was
you had
trying to
give
help
me the
expand
runaround.
I was
You
trying to
had
help
give me the
expand
runaround.
this
The
man's
first time-
vocabulary because he can't enunciate words sometimes.
But is vocabulary really that important?
It's not.
How you do one thing is how you do all things.
Is it? You
It's
just said you don't agree
presentation.
with that.
But you just said you did. So if he agrees with it and then he just went against his own moral code, then do you go against your moral code in every situation?
This is going to be another tangent
I
of
don't-
vocabulary.
I'm confused. I don't know where the fuck we're at now.
Yeah. We're just talking about the list and how like how you do anything is how you do everything. So the fact that he put the list together in his car is, how he does everything.
Usually don't.
Damn.
That was good though. I see what you did there.
I'm
I was
just asking. I'm asking.
son.
I was waiting for that to drop. Why not?
Son, where'd you find this?
Wow.
Damn. My
Yeah.
boy just came through and
I was waiting for that.
Inception fucked you, bro.
No, I was just waiting for him to get to that point because I was like, here it comes.
It's okay.
JD has it set up. Pete's knocked out, so Pete doesn't know what's going on. But I'm like, this is aimed at me.
It might be, yeah. I'm curious.
But I mean, yeah, that's definitely. I think if you're consciously aware of that, then you can change it. But I think a lot of people just stuck.
Let
in
me
the
ask you
pattern.
this. All right,
So they don't
JD.
really
So
process
now we're gonna get to this shit since Kenny's run down the joke.
No, it's not.
We on point. What's
You
up?
don't even like talking XFL.
So we were talking a little bit about this earlier in the day, and I'm gonna ask you this.
Here we go.
As someone who's had a multitude of both jobs, professions, careers, ways to make ends meet, entrepreneur ventures, whatever the fuck you want to call it, you've done a lot of different shit. To you, how do you deal with like graduating and making that change and that transition? Like how do you know when to like let shit go, or when to like?
How do I know?
How do you change? Like, how do you change?
I mean, one, I think it just starts with a decision. I know as simple as that sounds, it starts with a decision. Like, hey, either I'm tired of what I'm doing now, I'm tired of the results I'm seeing, I'm exhausted on where I'm at. So you're either inspired by, I forget what book, but you're either inspired by like the bad parts of your life, or you're inspired to see the good parts. And everybody's different. So I've been inspired by the bad parts. Like, fuck, I've gone through it. I've done different things. I've done everything. And then now recently I got to a point where it was like, okay, it looks like success, but what does my everyday feel like? And I'm in a transition right now. That's actually one of the reasons why I came on, because I want to study what you got. 175 episodes, like respect, big ups to touchdowns and tangents.
Yep.
And I'm just a student right now. And
Wait,
I'm like,
I don't know why I closed my laptop. We're recording.
God damn
We're
it!
still recording. We're still
How you do
recording.
one thing is
We're
how you
good.
do all things.
there you go.
We're good. We're good. We're good.
Sabotaging unnecessary moments.
Right. But going back to it, it's like you're either inspired by the things that you want to change in your current life, or you're inspired by the things that you want to see in your future become your current life. And I've learned in myself in doing all these different ventures, I'm usually influenced when I have a fucked up situation in front of me. And I'm learning to figure out, okay, how do I set a goal and get to the goal first?
And how do you balance that vision, that imagination, that goal, whatever you want to call it, right? Big picture, with what you can control and what you can see in front of you and what you can practically, feasibly accomplish and manage? Like, how do you make those ends meet?
Yeah, I feel like I'm still learning that.
Yeah.
I haven't found balance yet, or at least in, the different ventures I do, I give everything to all that I got. And basically, if there's something a little bit more that I can do to make it better, That's the direction I've seen myself going, that little bit more. So something that I'm doing right now that, you know, I'm excited for because I feel like it's a version of me maturing. Like right now I do insurance. I had the Rams tickets I was flipping, but it's the off season. I do Turo. I have some land. I have a juice company, but it's like, I'll be honest, sometimes I'm not on time with rent. And to have all these things in my like pocket right here, and I'm doing all these different things, and it's like at a certain moment's notice, I can't travel and go to this place, or if I'm not on time on rent or a bill or something, and I've worked this hard to get this far, something has to change because I'm always doing just enough to get a little bit better. So what I decided is, hey, you know what? I analyze all the ways that I make money, and I'm like, oh, wow, the lowest income has came from this, and that. So I'm starting to cut that out. Then my highest income has come from this, and that. I'm starting to lean into that, focus on that more. And one of the sacrifices I'm making now is I just sold 2 of my cars this week. I have 3 left. I'm probably going to sell 2 more. But that's going to free up about $1,400 a month. And even though I was making money, like Turo's a great opportunity for people that want that opportunity. But at the end of the day, for me doing insurance and Turo, I felt like a highly paid car washer. Like, to be honest. And it's a great opportunity if you scale it, but it came to a time where I'm either scaling or getting out. So right now I'm getting out and I'm leaning into what's been working, which is the insurance game, finances, talking to people. But I get burnt out sometimes in that sphere. And when we talk about burnout and how do you deal with it, well, I looked at what are the things that burn me out and what are the things that give me energy. I get energy from other people, teaching, learning, figuring things out, you know, shooting the shit, whatever. So I figured out, okay, what burns me out? Calling people, dialing, paperwork. So I'm in the midst of talking to more people, choosing leadership compared to the admin work. And it's like, if I can audit my day and the things that burn me out versus the things that give me energy, I'll pay money to do more things that give me energy. That way I get my energy back, or at least I get my mood and my stabilization of like emotions. Because when you feel burnt out, your emotions fuck you up, your money gets fucked up. It's like, you don't want to go through that. And I've been on both sides, and it's like, okay, let me lean in to what's most important. Where's the goal that I want to get to? So I set that first, and it's not balanced yet, but it's going to come because I believe it.
Well, that was really helpful for me too, just because everything I've been going through the past couple months. I feel like just like you said, man, like really trying to understand like granularly, like why do I feel a certain way? What is it that, because like you said, your experiences either give you energy or they drain you energy. So I'm just looking at it a lot more tactically in terms of that. Like, what's the input and what's the output?
Right.
Beyond just the money. Well, it's the money is part of it, but it's also the time. It's also the time that goes into prepping for that time, which is something that I've been a lot more mindful of, like just the mind shifts it takes sometimes for me to have calls with people.
Right.
Like, or to meet with people. Like, it's not just the time, it's not just the traffic, but it's the time and the interruption from doing whatever I need to do.
Here's a question for you. What's the one thing that you could do every day that'll help you get towards the goals that you set up in your mind?
Help people?
Help you how?
Like, just helping people reach their goals, like helping people make shit happen.
But what's the activity? Is that calling somebody? Is that an email? Is that starting a course? Is
solving problems, troubleshooting, listening, and like really diving into like, okay, what is the unique issue here and what are some solutions that we can try and test?
But then you got to get to a point where you're in that conversation with solving a problem, right? So how do you talk to more people to solve their problems? What's that activity look like?
A podcast?
Your podcast?
Podcast?
Hey, that's cool if it is.
I don't know.
That means you need more episodes, bro. What's up? But no, there's 2 questions that I ask myself. Like, this past year I've invested a lot into coaching, and it's like I will spend whatever it takes to get me to where I want to get to now. Because now that I've done insurance and COVID happened, like I finally know what it feels like to make money. And oh wow, it's great, but it's not really that great.
This is literally the conversation I was just having with this man earlier.
Yeah.
Making money is great, but it's not really that great. Like if you don't get some type of fulfillment with the money that you make, how do you change it? Because then you end up burnt out anyway, and the money doesn't matter no more.
Because what I was explaining to him is I was like, I remember when I was making $15K. It was like if I had 30, I'll be good. When I was making 30, it was like if I got 50, I'll be good. And I got 50, it's like okay, now I got to get to 80, right? And then when you get to 80, it's like you want to get to 100, and it's like it's not even just the toxic ambition in terms of like checking the box. It's like, well, what else is going up with that? Right? Like, so
Your
I'm putting
expenses.
exactly. So I'm putting more energy into that 80K. Like I'm putting more bandwidth into it if I'm not doing exactly what I want to do, even though I'm getting more in exchange, it's costing me more. And so it's like your expenses rise, your apartment gets bigger, your car gets nicer. You know, all of a sudden you got kids, all of a sudden you got whatever, X stocks, you got property, you got ventures, you got all these things. And all of a sudden it's like, fuck, I still feel like I'm making 30K, even though I'm not. Like,
Yeah, man. And I posted a video that it got crazy feedback. I didn't expect it to get so much feedback, but I said like the stress has to be worth the success. If you find success in something, but you're stressed the fuck out and you can't live with yourself, stop.
yeah.
The money's not worth it. Get your peace of mind back.
That's the moment that we're having right now as a society with the Great Resignation, with
Yeah.
you know everything that's going on.
And the hustle culture. I like how you said toxic what?
Toxic ambition.
Yeah, toxic ambition. Because I think sometimes we work ourselves to death and then we end up looking back 5 years and we really didn't do much.
Yeah, and for me, I'm okay with that outcome. I just want to make it easier for people ahead of me, and I don't want to be forgotten.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, even when I talk a lot about my funeral. Like, I want to have the most lit party, the most lit playlist. Like, and to some people that's morbid, but to me, it's like I'm okay with working till I die. Like, I'm fine with that outcome. Like,
Yeah.
for me, I'm fine with that. I just want it. I just don't want it to be for nothing. Right? I wanted to help the people behind me. I wanted to help create a legacy. Like, I want people to learn something from it, so that I didn't just break my back for nothing. But ultimately, I'm fine with breaking my back in the process. It's just like
It's a part of your purpose.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of tied into what I was saying is like, well, if I can find a way to be happy. Like, think about it, we were all broke college students at one point,
Right.
but we were happy as fuck at one point.
Lit every
we made
day.
it work. You made shit work.
Off
Like,
$7, bro.
How we end up being drunk every day with no money?
$7, bro.
How the fuck did I manage to go to every event possible in college and found free food for people? I
Man.
fed like a whole floor of people one time.
God.
Free food. Got countless. Got my homeboy. I got too many people I asked. Like, I literally, like, I was like, just come to this event, blah, 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 chat it up, get some food. Next, you know, boom, homie got a girlfriend.
There we go.
I wonder who helped you do that. But I'm like, nah, I'll get my fee later. Don't worry. But also just like, hell, we met like at an event, and I was like, I was coming from an event with food.
Yeah.
Like, I was just my gift has always just been talking to people and being able to empathize. So it's like, all right,
It makes sense why you guys have a podcast.
yeah, because it's like, who else would put up with this fucking guy for 275 episodes?
But real shit though, 275 episodes is a huge accomplishment. Like you guys are about to hit 300 and that's exciting.
Yeah, and it's like once a week. It's not like because if we doubled up and did 2 a week, we'd already be well over 500.
Well, if you loop in all the side episodes, we're like
Fourth
probably
and
at 300.
Nice.
now like 285.
So I would
Like-
say, going back to how we talked about, you know, not being burnt out and figuring out this balance game thing, I always ask like 2 questions, and this will help everybody. One is, what's the one activity that you could do every day to get you closer to that goal that you set up for yourself? And track the activity, track if you hit it. And for whatever that is for you, I mean, it could be talking to somebody, it could be dialing your phone, it could be making a post on Facebook or writing a blog. Like, track that activity. And then the second question is, what's one thing you could do today that will give you returns multiple times for the rest of your life? Like a podcast, like content, like residuals.
I think I finally got to the point where I know what that is, and I'm ready to do it. Like once I switched from 24-hour to Planet Fitness, and I started going, I was like, okay, good. I'm back in the gym. Like, this feels right. I know what I need to work on and how long I'm going to be there. Like, one time I was at the gym for like 4 hours. I was like, what the fuck? But it felt like 20 minutes. Like, I did 2 hours of cardio, but I did stretching throughout. That's my personal. That's
health
my
is a
personal
thing,
time.
though, for sure.
And it's like I'm not going for like I'm not running a marathon.
I hate when he gets serious. Like, bro, shut up. You're hurting my feelings right now. I'm talking about something serious. Like, bro, chill.
Nah, shut up, because you do that a lot.
You chill.
I get serious and you're like,
Chill.
I'm fucking around.
Chill.
We literally weren't fucking
You do
around
that
when you got
shit to
serious.
me too.
Nah, but I'm like funnier than you, so like it works better. Like,
So get back. So you were
But anyway.
you were in the gym for 2 hours.
yeah, so I was like,
How many calories you burn?
it was definitely like 900 the first hour and like 850 the second hour.
That's dope.
But like like the last hour I was just fucking around on my phone sitting in a massage chair.
Hey,
Just chilling.
respectfully, 85.0 is not the same as 850. Just so you know.
Shut the fuck
Just
up.
so you know, dog.
Like
You ain't
this.
burning no motherfucking 850 calories in an hour, bro.
Yeah, I can.
What were you on, a hamster wheel of God?
You just don't
Like,
stop
what?
moving your feet, asshole. Like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard of a concept.
Fuck,
Just don't
dog.
stop moving your feet. But no,
All right, the only
but
reason
here's
why
the
I'm
thing.
giving him shit because one time he was like, "Yeah, I was inclining 275," and I was like, "All right, bet."
No, I wasn't.
And
I
then
never
2
inclined
weeks
275.
later, we go to LA
I
Fitness.
said I benched 275.
This motherfucker
Pinched the
was
nerve in my shoulder.
with a plate
Fucked up.
on. With a
my
plate on, bro.
Fucked my shit up. I pinched the nerve in my
Embarrassing me,
shoulder.
bro. Embarrassing me. Couldn't even hit the plate. I was like, dog, you're 400
This
pounds.
motherfucker
You
just
can't
put
hit
the weight
plate.
on and more. I was like, fam, I told you I pinched the nerve in my goddamn shoulder. Like,
Anyways, continue. So your 2 hour gym story.
it was like there was a stretch. It would have been done an hour ago. You shut the fuck up. But here we are. I didn't interrupt you one time when you talked about Brandon. You dick.
So anyway, go ahead. So
But,
health. You're talking about health. You're talking about
But
the
yeah,
one
so-
thing that returns over and over.
Really, it's like, all right, let me go to the gym. Really, I just need me time. So it's like I work out for like really 2.5 hours. Then the other hour and 50 minutes, I'm just fucking around. It's like I go from like 8 to like midnight. I'm just there.
So you got the part-time shift at the gym.
Damn near. I might as well. But they definitely be hooking up, giving me like 20 minutes on the fucking massage chairs because nobody else is there. It's like, you might as well just keep the machine going, bro. I'm here. But no, like that just resets my day. It's like, okay, I got some work in. And I feel like if you get some work in every day, that's better than going once or twice a week and then you're trying to fucking overload. Like, because I've done that in the past. And I just, that's how I fucking pinched the nerve in my shoulder. Like, I was lifting too much too often. And it's like, okay, I went 3 times a week.
Well, if you're lifting for 4 hours in the gym, that was probably
I didn't
the
lift for
problem.
4 hours, you fucking idiot. Why would I do that?
Wait.
Who lifts for 4 hours? Nobody.
Let's get back to the point. So you have a goal, right?
And then the other
Health?
part is like writing more. Like, I have
Okay.
a bunch of shit in my draft that I'm actually starting to publish.
There we go.
So it's like, okay, I'm just going to keep doing those 2 things, and that'll make my day easier, help manage my stress, because the money's going to come. And I feel like if you could find a balance at 15K, 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K.
A week?
No, I'm just saying, like, just whatever you're making a year.
Okay.
Like, if you can find, like, okay, I'm only working this job for so long so I can get to here. Then I'm going to go here. And obviously you want to keep progressing to a point where it's like, I really care more about my time than I do how much money I'm making. And more than the career field I'm in. Because, like, in my spare time, I want to do what the fuck I want. And this is one of the things I want to do with my spare time. And I feel like by writing more and obviously, like, my mom, him, he's like, you have a gift. You need to use it. I feel like if you spend more time actually exercising your gift and exercising, like, your mental and physical will match up eventually. So that's kind of what I'm working towards now. And you're an asshole.
Why?
Because you just are.
So let's stay on this topic because I like it. So you're saying exercise, you're doing that daily or how often?
Like 4 times a week.
4 times a week. Okay. And then writing, you're doing blog posts or what are you writing?
Just random, like, I'm starting to, like, flush out. I have, like, random shit written in my iPhone, like, in my notes. And I'm like, well,
How many times a week then? How many times can you publish?
I've started publishing like twice. I got some stuff on Medium.
So twice a week.
But now I'm going to eventually go up to like probably 4 times a week. I'm going to publish something on Medium.
4 times a week? That's what you're going to do?
That's the plan.
Starting when?
Starting like Sunday. Because I have like days off where it's like, okay, outside of watching my nephew, outside of going to the gym, I can allocate time to write. But I just need to be like in a setting to where I'm like totally unfucking bothered and left alone.
Would you say 10 blogs a month is fair then?
Yeah, that's fair.
10 blogs a month. So from now to the end of April, I'm going to see at least 5 blog posts.
Yeah.
And then in May, I'm going to see another 10.
Yeah, I can do that.
What you going to put on that?
I mean, some of it might be sports. Some of it might just be personal. Just
that's fine.
Me, like, stream of consciousness.
And if you don't?
Did you have to get the money back when you get the 100 back?
No, I didn't. I should have. That hurts.
Damn. Sorry, no refunds. No money back.
Don't worry.
It took me 4 years, bro. Damn. Give me talk.
Journey to 100. You're a dick.
Journey through. I was through it. I was through all the exercise. I was through all the commitment. I was through it.
Oh my God.
But the journey's not over. I'm going to do it again. Y'all can quote me on it. That's why I'm like, look, real shit. Things fall off when you don't set the goal and set the vision. And if there's nobody there to back you up and push you and say, hey, you fucking up, bro. What's up? It's just, it's easy to come back.
And people know.
Hello, my name is Pete Camarillo. Nice to meet you.
That's a good point, though. But that's why I think accountability is going to be important. And like all of this fucking isolation shit is over now, so we could actually come back to these conversations and check people out and be like, yo, did you get your 5 posts in this last week?
Did you go to the gym this?
Yeah, did you get your gym? Like her goal right now is 100 miles in the month of April. So we're helping her keep accountable too. You know, she already did her marathon, but what's after the marathon? That's when I gained my weight back.
The marathon continues.
The marathon continues, yeah.
That was corny as fuck. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And two,
Oh, sorry, I muted you because you're out. Go ahead, you're back on.
So I think too, we're talking about, a goal. And I think that's a good, umbrella to everything. But I'm on this book right now. It's called Atomic Habits.
Hey.
So you're kind of learning the goal, it's great to kind of have like an overview of what you want to achieve. But then it's like, if you don't have the habits to achieve the goal, that goal doesn't mean anything. It's kind of just like a wish, But then you don't have like a foundation to build up on it. So yeah, I think it's super important to have habits. And I just wanted to say that.
Well, I think like when I think of the atomic habit, I think of like the butterfly effect. Like it just you're starting a habit for a reason to hit a certain goal, but ultimately you don't know what's going to come out of that once that habit impacts your life. Like you can't fathom it. That's why I was telling him, even with the money, is like, once it comes, like you can't fathom it. You like it.
No, I can fathom having a lot of money.
It doesn't make sense. No, but I'm just saying, like, even with us, like if someone came in and gave us $10 million, like we could find ways to fuck it off really quick.
Right.
Right. But we don't know what it's like to just have 10 million in the bank. And not even just like someone gave it to you and not even just like you saved it, but like that's just your disposable income.
Right.
Like that's just your cash flow. Like you can't fathom that until you're in that situation. Because when you're in that situation, the conversations you're in are different, the people you're around are different, the spaces that you're in are different.
Right.
But to your point, like if you don't have the habits when you get to that situation, then it's all a facade. It's fake. It ends.
And that's something I learned the hard way with my journey through. I'll be honest. I was so focused on the goal. What happens when you reach it? I was so focused on the marathon. What happens when you reach it? You know what I'm saying? Like the goal is not the end. If there's a destination, you're already doing the process wrong. Mm-hmm. So now learning from all these mistakes and reading the book Atomic Habits, it's like, yo, what habits could I create now that'll give me trajectory to live the life I want forever instead of just hitting a goal? And I think community, accountability, all these things we're talking about right now is important for each other because I care about y'all. I fuck with you. I want you to do well. And if you feel the same way, I hope you keep me accountable too.
That's a good way to transition. So, with that, let's get back to football for a little bit. Let's speed through the touchdown or turnover.
Oh, now you want to speed through it?
Well, I already skipped take your tangent. So,
goddamn son of a bitch.
the better question is, can I find the drop? Here we go.
Can you?
All right, first one, Kenny. Let's see. Channing Crowder calls Russell Wilson a square and a lame, and Sierra only with him with the money for money. Touchdown or turnover?
I mean, honestly, I'd rather have you go first because I'm still paying for another hour. Give me a second.
This is your bid.
I thought you were gonna have something to say. Fine, I'll go in. Just all right. Pay that shit for me.
You can use Apple Pay.
Yeah, which is on my phone. Just hand me back and I'll give you the password. But yeah, when it comes to that whole situation, I think people know what Channing Crowder meant by that. Like, let's be honest, Sierra has been through multiple rappers and industry dudes.
Russell Wilson, Sierra?
Yep.
They're not together no more?
No, they are.
Oh. Okay.
Anyways, I don't even think that makes sense for touchdown or turnover. That's why I didn't touch it.
What the hell did you do? Anyway, bottom line is, I mean, if you look at his fiance before he got that first fiance with the picture where her mouth is like all the way open like the fucking alien from the movies. It's really disturbing. And allegedly Golden Tate smashed his fiance. People see him as like a lame who didn't know Sierra's history, married her, put babies in her when she already has like multiple baby. She already has future as a baby daddy. So it's like most people with street smarts are gonna be like, you don't wife her up because she's still on IG naked twerking when she got multiple kids by you, but like you got to leave NFL events because Future's performing. That makes you look bad. She's like routinely made you kind of look bad on some low key Jada Will Smith type shit, and you being in charge of that, like that being your woman, and you kind of
you still haven't addressed if it's a touchdown or a turnover. This is a take or a tangent topic.
I said for him when he said
but
that.
Do you understand the difference now?
No, I said it was a touchdown for what Channing was saying when they were like, "No, you're being too harsh." It's like, nah, Russell's kind of lame. It's great that they're a happy family together, but Sierra has way more street smart than him. And
all right. Can you add time and answer these questions at the same time?
I will give it a shot.
All right, man. Well, next up, Kyler Murray says he wants to play until he gets a new deal. Touchdown or turnover?
I don't know what the hell Kyler Murray's doing, but he should probably just cool out.
I'm gonna say it's a turnover.
Might trade his ass for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a turnover unless he's really like dead ass set on going back to baseball. Because otherwise, bro, you're really gonna sit out a prime year in your career, like when this is the chance to make big money, big guaranteed money, like especially with the Deshaun shit. Dog, with Deshaun's contract, if I'm Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray, you can't tell me I can't get a full deal because this motherfucker did all this shit and still got a guarantee, and he doesn't even know if he's gonna play this year.
Pretty much.
That deal was wild.
Yeah, Kenny said $234 million guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Damn, that kind of money could have brought LeBron back.
Bro, I want LeBron the fuck out of. Oh, just please get LeBron out of LA. Send him to the Knicks so him and James Dolan can go to war.
All right, here's the one I've been wanting to get to this whole time before the power cuts off because Kenny's trying to put time on right now. But Sammy Watkins signs a 1-year deal for $4 million with the Green Bay Packers. Touchdown or turnover, Kenny?
I mean, I'm going to call that a turnover because he's just going to get hurt and miss most of the season. And
it's cold as fuck in Green Bay.
Yeah. And when you have knee injuries and nerve injuries, well, shit's not great for your joints.
I don't know why this dude has so many struggles with technology. When I had to add time, I literally just hit Apple Pay. Like,
Oh, you put your card in there already?
yeah, everything was good to go, and I just sent you money so you could just use the Apple Pay. Well, whatever.
I'm already here.
Is Sammy Watkins, he's injured
Uncle
right
Kenny.
now or no?
Well, he was injured off and on last year. But when he was healthy at the beginning of the year, when Bateman was down and Hollywood was out,
Yeah.
he was playing well for the Ravens. So
That's a little breath of fresh air for Aaron Rodgers, though.
yeah, exactly.
Because he got paid so much to come back.
Yeah, and they don't really have any receivers, like, period. They lost their number 1 and number 2 receivers, so
Yeah.
there's room for Watkins to make an impact, and if it pays off, he's still only 27 years old, so he can still get one more big contract.
I'll say it's a touchdown for the
yeah.
Packers.
Yeah, I think it's a touchdown too, because he's already made his money, but if he can make a little bit more, he has that extra motivation. So
And their running backs are
not?
strong again.
you have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. He was the number 4 pick for a reason. If he can get back to
Bro, it's over.
75% of that,
It's over.
he's got a good chance.
Now that I've paid for the room and we're good, I can just say it's over. He's a role player for the rest of his career.
Yeah, he might be,
He won't have 500 yards
but for
receiving.
he'll have 500 yards receiving. Bro.
Do you want to put money
You're
on
being
that?
disrespectful.
Do you want to put money on that?
You're being disrespectful.
I think you
Put
want to
some
put money on
it.
it. I
All
think
right,
you're talking
let's go.
shit like
Let's
you
go.
want to put money on
100.
it.
All right, let's do 100.
We'll do 100 then.
Yeah, stupid. All right.
Robert Tonyan.
Who?
Aaron Jones. That's the tight end who had 10 TDs before he tore his ACL.
Oh, okay.
Aaron
his
Jones is
ACL
like
torn?
second on the team in receiving as a running back. I think he had like 77 catches.
He's healthy again now, right?
Yeah. And it's a
He's
two-back
raw.
system, so they're both fresh, him and A.J. Dillon.
He's
So
raw.
you got him. They could take 2 receivers in the first round, honestly. They could take 2 receivers in the draft. So that just pushes Sammy Watkins down even more.
But 500 yards the whole season? That's disrespectful.
500 yards, 17 games. Okay, fine. You want to up the stakes?
Are you changing your
Do you
mind?
think he said 1,000. He said he would hit 1,000, and if he hits 1,000, I got to get him a steak. I don't believe that's going to happen.
Well, 100 is
think
more
he'll
than a
hit 1,000.
steak.
500 is actually kind of nice, if I'm being honest.
Anyways,
He might not make the team. Randall
Damn.
Cobb is his guy.
stop it, bro.
Randall Cobb,
Stop it.
former Iowa State receiver.
And by the way, I called this move at the beginning of the offseason. Katie laughed me out the room, and I believe I said, you saw what Randall Cobb did, bro. That's all I'm going to say.
He had like 3 touchdowns in one game this year. Because Aaron feeds his
Randall
guys.
Cobb, bro.
Aaron feeds his guys. That's what you're missing the point. Aaron Rodgers losing Devontae, he'll just make another one.
All right,
Jordy.
next up, Tom Brady. Last auction ball. It went for, I believe, $500K at first, and then he came back and was basically only worth like $50K. So the sale was voided at the auction just because it obviously wasn't his last touchdown ball. I know Brady tried to make good by donating to the dude's charity or whatever, but
Give me some Bitcoin.
anyways, touchdown or turnover, Brady's auction getting voided.
I mean,
It's a touchdown for the dude who fucking didn't lose $450,000.
Right.
yeah, and for tax purposes. I mean, yeah, I would call it. I mean, it's a turnover for the next guy who catches a touchdown from Brady.
All right, the Rams are recruiting one more All-Pro,
I don't believe this story.
former Defensive Player of the Year, Stephon Gilmore.
And that defensive player of the year was questionable because Darius Leonard kind of deserved it more than him. But whatever.
Touchdown or turnover, Gilmore getting interest with the Rams and the Colts.
I could see the Colts because they have more money to pay him.
But the
Yeah, that
Rams,
makes
he wants
more
a
sense.
ring.
He already
I don't
got
know
a
if
ring.
he wants a ring. He already got a ring.
He got a ring with New England.
He
It was
already
about
got a
money.
ring and he already went home. So I think he's good.
He's going to go to the highest bidder. That would just be a smart move. Whoever has the most money left. Hey, pay me a certain amount. I'm already better than your best corner. You can draft a corner and that dude can play nickel, but I'm going to be your best corner. You might as well live and die with that. Because
Yeah, I
he's not
think
going back to Buffalo.
Yeah, I think the Colts would be a touchdown just because, like you said, they have the most money to pay him.
And at this point, if you haven't gotten a deal yet in free agency, you're not getting a fat deal.
Yep.
Did they ever get Julio Jones?
Nah, he's still free agent, but he should go to the Colts.
He should. They got Matt Ryan.
Yep. All right. The Cowboys announced the first crypto partnership in the NFL. They are partnering with blockchain.com, touchdown or turnover Kenny. I'm going to recluse myself from this conversation.
I was about to say, I was about to hand it back to you. Like,
it's a conflict of interest.
Why?
So you answer.
He can't even say why it's a conflict of interest. That's how much of a conflict of interest it is.
Okay. Sparked my interest.
It's
I'll
worse.
tell you
It's worse than a sundial conflict of interest.
Okay.
It shit has real life consequences.
Could I have some feedback after?
Yeah, I'll tell you after.
Okay.
I'll tell you the tea after.
Off mic. I mean, yeah, it's a touchdown for all the guys who already have NFTs. I mean, there's already the narrative that people say NFTs are bullshit because it's not really art. It's just really just, digital items with perks and shit that they'll give you that you're paying for. But there are people getting rich off NFTs all the time. So, I mean, there are some NFTs that totally fail, and then there are some that win and make money. It's kind of really just all a gamble at this point.
It's all branding,
but it's
bro.
better to be it's better to be in it. It's easier to make more money through an NFT than it is to try to go the old established way to get bread through marketing. When you can just market yourself in an NFT and you're in the NFL, you're the Dallas Cowboys. It's Texas. It has the fucking GDP of most countries.
Well, it's funny because, Coachella is going on this weekend, and this is like the cheapest year ever to buy a Coachella ticket. Like my friend,
which is sickening.
Max, he bought a ticket for $200
Damn.
today.
Sick,
Yeah,
bro.
so that's.
I wonder why it's so cheap, though.
Because Kanye
Kanye pulled out,
Weekend might pull out.
and yeah.
Who else is going to headline? Who else you haven't seen?
Yeah.
What, if Bad Bunny shows up? Bad Bunny can do more by
Plus
himself.
inflation, man. It's a weird time right now. Like everything's gonna cost more. The gas to get there, the food to eat there, the water to drink. Everything's gonna be up. So
And who the fuck wants to go?
But the funny thing was, so like people I know who were selling it were thinking about just like, well, I'll just go for one day. I'd rather do that than sell it for $200.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just go for 2 days and sell it, or just go late one day or whatever. You know, just do it on my terms rather than eat $500.
Who wants to go to Indio?
But the other reason why they were thinking about keeping it was because it also comes with the NFT.
Coachella does?
Yeah, the Coachella ticket comes with the NFT. So
The Rams playoff tickets came with NFTs too.
yeah,
All of them.
Nice.
which yeah, I can tell you more about that off air, but they're kind of a scam. But yeah,
I think it's still a win though. Like as far as for the business side of things, you saw what the Staples Center did with Crypto.com partnership.
I haven't seen it
You mean
yet.
Bripto?
I haven't seen it yet.
The center formerly known as Staples?
I would. Yeah, basically that's how we refer to it here on this.
That's
podcast.
the only way I acknowledge it. Is just,
It was like 700 million though. Was it 70 or 700? I feel like it was
I get
700.
it, man, but still, it's like
you sold the soul of an arena.
and you know what that means, right?
Crypto,
Like
for crypto
all
clout.
that stadium's gonna look different. Like all the photos, all that stuff is gonna be auctioned off because Generation Z don't care about photos.
It's
They want
NFT.
videos.
It's an NFT now.
Yeah,
It's
they
worth
want
more.
videos. They want.
It's gonna be like
NFTs.
Harry Potter with the moving film on the side.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of tight though.
Yeah.
Low key.
It would, but I don't
Sad.
know, man. I'm nostalgic. I like photos. I'm an old school kind of guy.
And the Clippers got an arena coming up too.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna be lit.
That they
Have a
can
train
barely
right
make
there.
the playoffs into.
and
gentrify the neighborhood too.
And then they can take the Lakers banners down in the Forum. So
You don't have any banners to put up. So
Okay,
how you
we
gonna
can just
take a
take
banner
y'all
down?
down.
What you gonna do? Put up a wash rag? Put a picture of Patrick Beverly's
I hope
face?
they put that shit right in the dumpster, bro. Right next to that old fish fry spot, bro.
First off, watch your fucking mouth about that fish fry spot. That place was fire until they shut it down. But that place was fire. Fucking Steve Ballmer ruined that whole area. Man, that fish
Steve Ballmer didn't ruin that. Stan Kroenke did.
Whoever
Don't
the
get it
fuck
twisted.
caused that fish spot to shut down, fuck you and your mama.
The city of Inglewood.
So there. I guess the Inglewood mayor, right?
Yep.
Well, I mean, he been selling the city out.
All right, last one.
Foul shit going on.
Last one. Ongoing Kaepernick watch.
Who? I didn't put that on the rundown.
I put that on there.
I don't want to talk about
I'll put
Kaepernick
that
ever
on there.
again, bro. Even if we end up better as friends.
But he also, the
wanna
reason why we're talking about it is because these are three personalities that make our rundown consistently linked together.
Chad Johnson, Brandon Marshall, House of Athlete.
Close. Chad Johnson, Michael Vick, and Colin Kaepernick were all working out together. Touchdown or turnover. See? Now it's newsworthy
Touchdown.
because I told you the
I didn't give a fuck at the Michigan spring game where he was throwing. I don't care now. Everybody knows he's never playing in the NFL again.
What about the XFL?
I'm gonna say
He could if he wants to, but
I'm gonna
realistically,
say it's a touchdown because, to your point, I don't care, but I do care because Ocho Cinco and Michael Vick have both made names for themselves off the field, and I hope that they can get in Kaepernick's ear and say, "Hey, bro, you can still
come back out and talk
be
to the people.
influence with the people, and you can still make shit happen."
I'm going to say under a gag order.
What I am going to say, though, is it's a turnover because the only motherfucker wearing cleats in that picture was old-ass Ocho Cinco. So,
him and Brandon had
he
on
over here
soccer
giving out the
cleats.
most. He's still out here giving the most juice.
Because Pepe still got the fucking juice. That's why.
Yeah.
You can still run routes to this day. Him and T.O. I can't wait till the FCO league starts back up.
Steve Smith should get in there.
Nah, Steve Smith definitely washed.
Think so?
All, small dudes like that is done.
Put him at corner.
Him and AI.
Put him at free safety.
Him and AI.
I will put Steve Smith at free safety. Nickel.
At 5'9".
Tyrone Mattea.
What?
Honey Badger.
Tyrann Mathieu.
Whatever.
They were saying
Who's
he
really
was
a
gonna go
nickel
to the
corner
Rams.
and he hasn't been that great in coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
22.
Let's get to the rants. You want to go first, JD? You're the guest.
What is it, rant?
Yeah, so you
Say
pretty much
whatever's on
just
your
close
heart
out
and mind.
whatever's on your heart. You got 1 to 2 minutes. Just say whatever you want to say. Self promo.
Y'all go
Leave
first.
something with.
Let me give
Leave
an
people
example.
with some
You
influential.
want to close the show? Y'all want to close the show?
I'll let her close. I'll go in between. Okay, I'll close it. I gotta think of it. Go ahead. Let me hear it.
Fuck, are you gonna close our show? All right.
All right, I won't close your
He
show.
clearly wants to go last. That's why I said
Let me
it.
get one. Let me go in the middle. Hold on, wait.
He gonna jump in at the last second and just
fuck
shit
off.
on whatever you say.
Fuck
I
off.
know.
I'll just go first to set it off.
I'll go after him.
I'll get out the way.
Fuck off.
Thanks for having y'all coming on. This is wonderful. I feel like we have like 45 minutes of lost content that the world will never hear.
Something like that.
But honestly, all our shows were like some of our best content and shit we just don't ever post. Like it's just natural pre-show energy. So I mean, this is cool. Honestly, I'm just waiting till the draft. So I guess we'll figure out that situation with the thing in Vegas. I don't know. We may or may not be in Vegas covering the draft, allegedly, potentially. We'll see how that shit goes. But shout out to Phil from No Filter Truth. Yesterday was his birthday. And they're going to be in Vegas covering the NFL draft, full media access. So salute to all the people we know who got full media access. We'll be there next year with full media access and not have to have these issues. But I mean,
Did you ask Phil if he got an extra credential?
I mean, I don't think that's how that works.
You could ask. You never know.
I mean, I'm not the kind
He
of
had
person.
an intern with a credential.
Oh no, that intern in Mobile had his own credential. He had photos. And
That's
he,
what I'm saying.
He ditched us, and we never heard
That's
from
what
him
I'm saying.
again.
You could do photos for him.
No, he ditched us, and then we just never
You
heard
could do
from him.
photos for him.
Yeah, I mean, you see my photo work. You saw NFLPA game.
I'm just saying.
You saw that helmet. You
All
saw
I'm
that helmet
saying-
shot that they stole and then flipped it, and then did their own version. I was like, okay.
All I hear
You
is
stole my whole flow.
All I hear is the opportunity window slightly cracked, and you're closing it on yourself.
I mean,
That's all I hear.
I don't like being clout chasing with other people's success.
It's not clout chasing.
It
bro.
feels like it to me. It feels like
All I can
I'm
say is no.
infringing on,
Yeah.
and that to me feels like I'm infringing on other people's success. When
I'm infringing on y'all's success, and I'm cool with it. This is dope for me. I appreciate
And
y'all.
it's not even just that. It's you're helping. You're
Yeah.
adding to to the
experience.
show, the experience. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So you'll be adding to that experience. Get a credential, bro.
I asked him, be like, hey, you need a photo guy? I won't ditch you like last time. That
Anyways,
intern really
get back to
ditched
your
us
time.
to
Anyways.
fucking get stuck in Mobile, Alabama.
Back to your time.
Woo! But yeah. Shout out to my nephew Isaiah. Like little boy, like just seeing a 10-month-old baby and just realizing this boy is like has this much energy at 10. I'm like, I'm so fucked in like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's why I'm trying to get in shape now, because I just know there's gonna come a day and time where he's gonna test me and I just gotta put him down and be like, I love you.
You're not trying, you're doing.
Definitely. Like, I'm just prepping now. It's like, I got to get a head start because the boy got fired. And it's just, salute to my nephew. But he headbutted the living dog shit out of me. And I'm
He
like,
always does.
like, he's really a headbutter and a grabber. Like, if he's not a lineman in the future, he's definitely going to be an all-pro corner. So the bag is going to be solidified one way or another. Salute to him. But also, oh, yeah, this is the thing that was really making me mad this week. I'm tired of seeing all you fucking linemen at these camps, especially offensive linemen. Like, you're dominating dudes, you're folding guys up. Why don't you show the drill where he whooped your ass? Show the drill where they actually got a good rush off, because your pass set was trash. If a dude slipped, like, I don't care to see offensive lineman camps for that reason. Because it only shows, like, oh, this is why this dude's a 5-star. Like, bro, you probably go to a high school where there's a bunch of 4-stars and you beat up on shittier teams because you're in a division that you should be in a higher division, but you're playing against lower division schools, and that's why you look so dominant. But then when you get to college, we never hear from your ass again. I think you could just really, like, if you want to do lineman competitions, put on pads. That's the only way I respect it. The same way I don't respect it when DBs get cooked by receivers. When you don't have 7 seconds to run that stupid-ass release, you be doing at these camps, thinking the shit is cute. No, and then when you get to your pro day, you run a 4.7. But you are a 5-star receiver or a 5-star corner. But you run slower than defensive tackles. My bad. Sorry. Yeah, just cut out that clout shit at these camps. And these adults need to do better. Because I don't like seeing that shit. I saw one where this kid slapped the DB, and then he slapped him back. And it's like, bro, both of y'all would be doing up downs right now. Go the fuck home. Y'all can't participate the rest of the day. We're not out here to show off for clout. We're here to showcase our technique and see how we can get better. This is the standard. This is where you're at, adjacent to the standard. Now, go chase that standard.
Yeah, but everything's NIL. Everything's a brand.
Bro, these high school kids out here looking like shit at these
Getting
drills.
to the next level.
I'm 30, and I'm pretty sure I'll fucking mollywop most of y'all in some of these drills where you're looking like the next NFL left tackle. This one kid was like 360, and I'm like, you don't even...
You're not even giving me problems.
I would give you problems.
You're not even giving me problems.
You would definitely be like...
Nah,
wow,
you're giving me
You gotta
problems.
set it up.
I'm cutting you once, and then you're not coming off the ball.
You're
after
not
that.
cutting me.
Cutting's not a
cutting
thing,
you
though.
one
Because I'm
time.
going to knee you in the head. Like, I don't play
That's
that
fine.
shit.
I'll eat that once. So
You're
I'll
going
be
to
good.
eat several.
I'll
I'm
be
going
good.
to get you right in the
I'll eat
temple.
it once, but guess what? This
Then
big
what?
ass head is gonna bounce back before that
Kneecap.
30% of a leg that you got.
First off, that's fucked up. That's 30% of a leg. It's a good 85%. There's just 15% nerve damage, and it depends on the day. Depends on when you catch me.
Y'all need a good chiropractor.
I have one. That's another part of me getting the going to the gym.
Finish your
I go
time.
to a
Sorry.
chiropractor twice a month.
Sorry, I was talking
I'm
to
good.
you.
Mine.
I'm good though. I'm good.
All right.
All right, I'll go after him. So yeah, my rant is shit, bro. I'm just happy to be here. So it's been a
really
minute.
think she was smoking?
He defaulted to his hood code switch. All right, that's what we're doing. He hood code switched. All right.
Nah, I literally drew a blank. I'm like, okay, hold on, let me get back.
I'm in the studio. Code switch.
We the stool. No, but I would say my rant is that I'm just I've been changing what I thought was true and changing the beliefs I thought I had. So something that I used to always believe is that time is money. And that the amount we spend our time in is the amount that we're going to make our money. And I've been proven wrong. And I've been challenging those beliefs. And at the end of the day, now I work remote. I do things over the phone. And there's a bunch of people that do that. Y'all do the podcast. Like, you really don't have to be anywhere physically to do the podcast. So I'm trying to surround myself with people that have divorced their time from money, because time is much more important than the money that you get from it. Like we said, you make more money, and at every level there's another devil that's going to come and chop out the money you just made. And I felt it, and I've seen it, and I'm like, no, let me change this up. So I became a student again. I'm humbled. I'm talking about it more. And I just feel like, you know, the podcast, the sector of being a podcaster is dope, because at the end of the day, I get free consultations. And now the little things that I thought was just common knowledge may help the next person. So if that goes out in the world and people are able to see that, whether you see it now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, I just posted a video from 5 years ago, and it like caught some traction, and I'm like, oh damn, that's super true. And it was 5 years old. So I'm really into the content type of things now. I'm really into figuring out how do I really divorce my time from money. And at the end of the day, I think that my enjoyment and my love for poetry and the need and necessity of finance, somehow it's going to become married, and somehow it's got to come together. After all this time, there's a middle ground where you can balance, and there's a need to have it. So however that looks, poetic finance, whatever that is, you know, I'm figuring that out. And I'm a student again, and it's kind of cool because there's no grades. It's judged off the results, and I'll say the results are getting better. So
Awesome. Melissa, anything you want to leave the people with?
Yeah, I got a few things I want to share with y'all. I think relationships in general are just super important, right? Your friends, the person that your significant other, maybe business partners, right? So just
I
really
like how she side-eyed me when she said significant other. You just sensing the energy?
She sensed the toxic energy coming off you.
Yeah, good.
she's like, don't you say shit right now.
She's only been in here an hour. She's already sensed
I'm
it.
just giving a little bit of eye to everybody in the room like this. I'm doing a rotation.
Damn, okay.
Eye
She hitting us with
contact,
the presentation.
So
moves.
it really is who you
My
know,
bad.
right? It really is who you know, and just kind of putting yourself. I know like people say this a lot, but get out of a comfort zone. But really it is, how are you speaking to people? Who are you speaking to, right? So really, like, a lot of people are going to want to tell you no every time you're trying to, I don't know, get something done, right? They're going to tell you no, but you got to find that person, or you got to find a way to talk to them where that answer changes to yes, right? So check in on your relationships. Make sure that you're kind of like auditing who you're connecting with, who you want to connect with, and kind of how you're talking to them. And also, something I feel like that's on my mind since we're kind of talking about it, right? We're talking about getting movement, working out to make ourselves feel better. I just want to say shout out to all the thick, chubby, fat athletes out here that are running the game, okay? So if you're chubby, if you identify with this message, just show yourself some love, okay? Because we really are paving a path, and it's not about losing weight. You ain't got to be super skinny to be fit. So shout out.
Hey,
That's
all
me,
right.
bro. That's me too.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. We were all of us in the room were like, "That's me."
Speaking of
Right
preaching
people
to all of us.
She read the room. She read
that in my
the room.
spirit.
She read
You
the
felt that in your spirit,
Yeah.
right?
Keep my spirit alive.
And now she's booking speaking engagements, y'all. If you don't want to book Melissa on your podcast,
She is a good
Career
speaker.
coaching.
Yeah, not for real.
to
You're a
you
great
soon,
speaker.
okay? Coming to you soon.
Don't feel guilty if you're at a Planet Fitness and they have pizza out. If you didn't eat that day, you gotta self-preservation.
You know what?
He's snitching on himself.
Nah, real talk. The one at Torrance did that. The one that I used to go to in
I
Torrance.
keep hearing about this, but I've been
Can't
to
give
Planet
out
Fitness.
whole
I've been
ass
going to
pizzas.
Planet Fitness for a whole year. I've never seen the free
Not that
pizza.
one. Not that
But
one. Not the
everyone
one at
brings it up.
Hawthorne.
Everyone brings it up.
Not the Hawthorne one, but definitely the one they give out bagels on Tuesdays, and they give out Domino's pizza. The one on Torrance and Hawthorne, like 190th or something.
I got one
All
more
right.
point.
Go ahead.
I cannot stand those people when there's like a donut party and they're like, oh, I can't eat that donut. I'm on a diet. I can't stand y'all.
Like,
Don't
dies in
say
the word.
nothing. Don't eat the donut.
Don't make us all feel guilty because we're hungry.
Exactly.
Just leave the room.
Shit. Take a napkin and go.
Carry on with your day.
Drink some
Change your
orange
diet.
juice.
Bye.
Here's some lemon water. Have a nice day.
I'm gonna have this done.
All right. Well, we covered a lot of ground tonight, so we talked about a lot, and honestly, it was really fun. You
This is
know,
a very therapeutic episode.
I think you all kind of touched on a lot of different points that really resonated with the challenges that I've been having really the past couple of years, but even like the past few months. So thank y'all for that. I appreciate it. I feel my cup feels a little bit more full today, so I appreciate that. I always tell people, I'm just like, some days I really do just feel like I'm just maintaining. Like, I really just feel like I'm getting to the next day. And so, like, when I am able to get into this setting, or when I am able to, connect with a friend that I've now known for 10 years, which is crazy to think about. And, like, when I get those little opportunities, it's like I don't take them for granted. And if I can do 2 in 1, do a podcast and also connect with a friend, it's like it's even better for me. So thank y'all for making the trip and for filling my cup. But outside of that, man, I'll just say this, like, whatever you're going through, like, it could always be worse. And like, me and Kenny were talking, and I half-assed joked with him, but it's like, my stepmom's going through it with her job, like, some shit happened with me at work, and it's just like, sometimes you just have to be grateful that, hey, you still have a job. Like, hey, you didn't get fired. Like, hey, sometimes, like you said, you just have to focus on what isn't bad, because just focusing on where you're not, that can really, 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 really be draining. And that comes from someone who's like specializes in finding the problems and finding the issues. So that's why now I'm getting to the point in my maturity where it's like, I'm saying that as great as that's been, and how it's propelled me to all the different places that it's gotten me, it's also been holding me back from like really feeling satisfied. So that's why it's like, I know as much, and that's why it's like, and you guys have both known me for a really long time, and I always push you guys, I always challenge you guys, and I always change. And it's because, I do that for myself. Like, I hold myself to those same standards. And so for me, the irony is like, I have to change that thinking too, because otherwise I'm just going to be like Russell Westbrook and just burn out when I should be at the pinnacle of everything that I ever wanted. Right? So that's the other thing that I always think about, is just Russell Westbrook. Like, damn, this dude's the top of his game, came home to the team he always wanted to play with, and got to a point to where he couldn't even have his family come to the games because of death threats. Like, that's wild. Like, that's really wild to think about. And nothing really changed. He was who he always was. The dude who's going to get you a triple-double, the dude who's going to outwork everyone, who's going to bust his ass. But the truth was, that's not serving him in this new phase of his career. And that's always going to be a part of him. But you got to learn how to turn it on and off. You got to learn how to get that control, because otherwise it will just control you. And that's what I've learned. So with that, man, thank y'all for listening to us. Shout out to all the people who fuck with us. Shout out to Caesar in the chat. Shout out to X Squad Affiliates, FPC Radio, favorite podcast app. This is Touchdowns and Tangents. And yeah, we're out.
Peace.
Peace.